I think that's a very nice shift to perhaps Mark. Mark, you know, as the director of an alliance that represents the whole gamut of what is nutrition, you're in a position to tell us whether this agriculture-nutrition linkage can make sense vis-a-vis other nutrition interventions, but also you work a lot on the global stage for nutrition, but also at the regional and the national. And so given that perspective and the discourse that you're often engaged in, what are you hearing? What are you seeing about this marriage? Are they waving? Are they courting? Are they married? Are they not aware?
Well, thanks, Bonnie. I think, you know, if you're looking at where they're married or not, I think there are different levels of marriage or partnership, depending if we're looking at the global level or the national level. I think the last few years we've never seen so much, you know, if not, you know, dating, getting close to marriage at the global level. And you know, if we just look at what's happened over the last few years, and you heard some of the people mention this already. I mean, we've had the big ICN2, 170 countries committing to plans, a lot of those integrating agriculture and nutrition together. I mean, Verka is here from the former head of the Committee on Food Security. I mean, those of us who go there, the Committee on Food Security has taken nutrition in as a core part of the program, something that hadn't happened before. We heard David on the Sun Movement. The Sun Movement, you know, 55 countries. Many of those countries are trying to integrate both food security and nutrition. We have the Secretary General's Zero Hunger Challenge, again, an integrated approach. Lawrence Haddad, who leads the work on the Global Nutrition Report, has also been that's also been quite key in showing how these two come together. But I think the most important thing is the new SDG 2, which really presents an integrated platform for, you know, bringing together ending hunger, food security, improving nutrition, and agricultural sustainability, and incorporates actually increasing productivity with ending malnutrition. So I think that is if you take all that together, the whole at the international level, we've really moved quite a bit. But actually make it a marriage, I think there's some things that are missing. I think we actually have to try and see, perhaps around SDG 2, how are we going to institutionalize this integration into some new platforms. We definitely need some financing facilities to make this happen. There is not enough resources, and particularly we have more demands from climate, migration. The other thing is we do really have to start to look at the global level to get a real engagement with the private sector on how we are going to shape the food system at the global level, and that's something that's missing. So at the global level, I think we're getting closer to marriage. I think where we are really not very far off is as we look at the regional and the national level. Here, you know, we've seen a lot of initiatives like the African Union Strategy on Nutrition, work from CADEP. We've seen a lot of countries on the ground making commitments, but we see very little happening concretely, even despite some big donors like USAID and Feed the Future, which have really made big investments. And I think the reason we're not seeing a lot happening is because we're missing some of that political commitment. You know, these regional platforms are not integrating, you know, permanent secretaries of agriculture with permanent secretaries of health into a common view. National governments, as was mentioned, they need help in coming up with these policies and how to actually deliver these integrated platforms. And we actually need a lot more investment in proof of concept activities where we can build evidence and really show what works. We don't have a lot of examples of what works, and I think that we're missing that. And the last point, and I'll stop here, we have to start to look at markets much, much more, and how are we going to incentivize or move markets to they are encouraging the creation of food systems that are providing healthy diets. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.